Hi, Danny again from FST Fitness, back with another question. This time, this question didn't come with a name on it, so I'm just going to read it out and take it from there. So if you do email questions in, if you could shove a name on it, that'd be awesome. Cheers. Right. So this one says, how do you stay motivated to maintain a fitness routine, especially during winter when my energy levels seem to plummet? I can keep things up for a few weeks, and then my routine seems to fall by the wayside. How can I keep my motivation levels? Right, so I can deal with the winter bit fairly easily. Unfortunately, we live in the UK, and you know, every single year it goes dark early, it's wet, it's windy, it's a bit miserable, and it's cold outside. We know this is going to happen. And I'm afraid there's absolutely nothing we can do about this. Short of actually emigrating and moving away, there's absolutely nothing we can do. The harsh reality is you've probably got a home with electricity, water, radiators, heat, a kettle and a shower, not a kettlebell, a kettle and a shower. And so if you're going to go out and do your exercise and you're bothered about being cold and all that sort of stuff, the reality is you can go home and utilise all these things. So, you know, and to be honest with you, there's tons and tons of shops out there that are happy to sell you stuff to sort of like to make sure you're warm and you're comfortable and all that sort of stuff. So when you're doing your outdoor activities, unfortunately, you know, it's winter for a very long time in the UK, or it seems that way anyway. So, you know, basically suck it up. There's not a lot you can do about it really. Just accept the fact that winter's going to be here, and there's not a great deal you can do. However, there are a couple of things that we can do to help with the motivational side of things, okay? So, first of all, I think I have a little look at your workout program really. So what I kind of do here with these guys is try and change it up every 4 to 6 weeks and give yourself something to work on. So a new goal, if you like. So for example, you know, if you're working on strength, really focus on getting strong for the next 4 to 6 weeks. If you want to work on metabolic conditioning, work on that. If you want to work on aerobic capacity, you can work on that. Work on your flexibility. There's tons and tons and tons of stuff to be really get your teeth stuck into before that motivation starts to drop. Because the reality is we all like something new, something a little bit more exciting to get our teeth stuck into. Once we've done it for a few weeks, motivation starts to go, interest starts to fade, and that's kind of it. And what I've kind of found just from sort of like my experience is it's really top end athletes, they can hold that motivation for a little bit longer because they've got a lot more at stake, and to be honest with you, they're kind of used to doing quite dry, quite boring programs. So I can usually push a program to about 6 weeks. General public, I kind of try and change up between that 4 and 6 week sort of place. If you're learning something new or there's a new technique in there, then that can kind of usually drag out to about 6 weeks. Just from a learning perspective, just from a learning point of view, but ultimately you want to try and change it up for every 4 to 6 weeks. So for example, you know, if you're working on strength, work on it for 6 weeks, then work on maybe metabolic conditioning whilst trying to maintain your strength off the back of 1 session a week, and maybe do 2 metabolic training sessions a week, and then likewise flip it over, just do 1 metabolic training session a week, and then do 1 strength session a week, or whatever it is. So maintain 1. Improve another. That's kind of the goal, and that will kind of keep you interested and recording what it is that you're doing as well. So it's not just hit and miss. So you know, get a pen, get some paper, get yourself a little book, a little training log. Log down what it is that you're doing, what kind of road times we're running, what kind of squat numbers that we're lifting, what kind of deadlift numbers that we're lifting. As well, you know, in winter. From a track and field background, my summer season was my performance time. That's kind of when I raced, and in winter was a long winter, and that's kind of where I really worked on myself, like technique and my foundational strength, and my and basically did all the foundational work and the groundwork. And there's no reason why you can't do the same. So when winter comes around, it might be a case of you know what, I'm going to use this winter to really hone my technique and really work on my technique and really work on my form. In which case, again, use that 4 to 6 week block. Really focus on maybe sort of really focus on your deadlift technique. And if you find a problem with it and it's flexibility, you know where you need to go next. You need to work on that 4 to 6 week block of flexibility, improve that, then take it back to the technique again, see if that improves. If you're just constantly looking for something else, if you just kind of go into the gym hammering away, you're really not gonna. You're gonna get unstuck, and following the same program over and over again is gonna get a little bit unstuck again. So really, you want to manipulate. You can manipulate technique, you can manipulate flexibility, you can manipulate sets, reps, volume, time with attention, different types of circuit, and linear strength. There's tons of stuff to go at. I would pick one, improve it, and maintain the rest. That's how I go about it. Less confusing for the brain, less confusing for the body, and it gives you a real honest answer of what it is that you're doing and what it is that you're working on. Another thing as well, if you're an activities kind of person and you're going out and you're running or whatever, and the weather's really putting you off, like I said, we know winter's coming, so try something new. So if you are a runner, maybe work on your technique or find something that you really want to work on. So for example, maybe it is your form, maybe you want to sort of like try and be less of a heel striker and move a little bit more onto your midfoot. Work on that through the winter, work on it, break it down. What do you need to do? Do you need to work on your power? Do you need to work on your strength? If you just need to work on, and really work on these different areas. And then by the time you come back around to the summer again, you'd be good to go, and you'd be excited to sort of like, put all the things that you've learned through the winter into practice. Failing that, go and do something new, something completely different that you've never tried before. So maybe that's indoor rock climbing, maybe that's rowing, maybe that's indoor cycling, down at the velodrome, or whatever it is, give it a go and go down and try it and see. You might enjoy it. You might make some friends down there, and if you do make some friends down there, then the reality is you're gonna have another network that you're gonna be held responsible to. So they're gonna expect to see you every week. So you've got to go, and that's kind of how it works, and that really can help with motivation. Plus, again, it's really exciting to get your teeth into something new. So if you're going to go and do this, and if you're going to go into indoor cycling, for example, then it is going to be great. You're going to pick up a new skill, you're going to meet some new people, and really sort of like, get that excitement, that buzz, and that excitement back into it again. So so there's a couple of things there to sort of like help with motivation. But if I'm honest, the big one that I find that most people suffer from is it's just a simple thought process. And to be honest with you, you've just got to really hijack it, recognize it, hijack it, change the thought process, and that kind of comes about. So what do I mean by this? So ultimately what kind of happens is, what I kind of hear, especially now at this moment in time where the weather's really taken like a massive dive over the last couple of weeks, I've certainly noticed a change. People aren't turning up quite as often. I can only assume it's down to the syndrome of I can't be arsed, really. So you finish work, you look outside, the rain's hammering against the window. You think of at home and watching, I don't know, Neighbours or EastEnders, whatever crap's on TV, and you think, I can't be arsed, I'm going to go and do that. So really what you want to do is hijack that thought before it's even begun, okay? So what do I mean by this? So phrases like I can't be arsed, or can't be bothered, or try, and the word try or whatever, and words like this, ultimately what they allow you to do is make a decision not to do something, but ultimately will give you the opportunity then not to feel bad about it. So what I mean by that is I can't be arsed, then, and then it doesn't. So then you don't have to do whatever it is that you set out to do, but it's okay because you couldn't be arsed. You know what I mean? And it's a nothing answer. It's ridiculous. And we all use it. I'm guilty of it. I'm fairly certain you're guilty of it. Everyone is guilty of this. And basically we have different things that kind of combat this. So you kind of maybe look at some sort of Instagram post or some sort of like, some motivational thing on YouTube, and hopefully that's going to get us up on our feet and go and do the thing. The problem is it's very, very short-lived, and it might work that one time or maybe even a couple of times, but after a while you're just going to be sitting, flicking through Instagram going, wasted an hour now, so I've got no time to go and do it, and then you've kind of got your excuse to not go, okay? I know we also like to attach an excuse onto it. Oh, I can't be arsed, it's too wet outside. Even though you could go and run in the rain and go home and have a nice hot shower and have a cup of tea afterwards. But anyway, so we like to use absolve ourselves from making a decision, attach it to a reason, so we don't have to take responsibility for our own actions, and there we go. We don't have to take any action at all. So hijack it. So when we say I can't be arsed or try, make a decision. Okay. So what I'm talking about there is and this can be used in any walk of life. This can be used for the gym, it can be used for work, it can be used for doing that essay that you don't want to be doing, it can be used for pushing your career forward, or whatever it is. So when you go down that I can't be arsed route, what is it exactly can you not be bothered with? And make a decision, verbally say the decision. I can't be arsed, which basically what you're saying is, I am choosing not to do something for this reason, okay? So for example, I'm choosing not to go to the gym tonight because I want to go home and put my feet up and watch TV and eat biscuits. Which ultimately is not going to get you to your goal, okay? So there again, so you're choosing not to go after your goal. So and if you made that decision, yeah, own that decision. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. If you want to go home and do nothing with your time, you do nothing with your evening and watch TV or whatever it is that you want to do, make that decision, own that decision. You've got no one else to blame but yourself. Simple as that. Okay? If on the flip side you're going to go, I'm going to go home, I'm going to watch TV, but knowing that realistically speaking the TV has got nothing to offer apart from selling you stuff that you don't even need, and you can live your life vicariously through whatever soap that people are into nowadays. That's if you're going to make that decision, it's quite likely, and then you can, on the flip side to that, I'm going to choose that over going to the gym and working on my deadlift technique, on my flexibility, on my running technique, or whatever goal that is you've set yourself. I'm choosing to do the couch route, but I'm not going to choose the gym route. If you're going to choose the couch route, take it, own it, sit there, do nothing, accept the consequences. That's what it is. That's your decision, that's your choice. That's what can't be arsed means, ultimately, okay? The same thing for try. Oh, I'm going to try and go to the gym. Don't try. Either simply do or you don't. It's simple as that. Trying is just another word of sitting on the fence and doing nothing. And that's kind of it. This is where kind of procrastination comes from and all the rest of it. And pushing yourselves forward onto the next level, or going for that. Improving your work skills or whatever it is that you do. These words are sitting on the fence. They really do make you sit on the fence and make you procrastinate and help you procrastinate or whatever. And ultimately, what's going to happen there is you're not really going to achieve anything until you back yourself into a corner and go, oh my God, I've told myself I'm going to do this 10k now, and I've done no training. I'll blame the weather, and that's it. Or that assignment that needs to be done that's due in tomorrow. I've not done it. I'll blame, I don't know, like I didn't have a pencil sharpener or something. And then we panic and get ourselves in the corner, and then we get all stressed and anxious and blah 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 and all the rest of it. Whereas if we hijack it early on and actually start working on changing them thought processes fairly early on, and so it almost becomes a habit. So when you feel like you're going down there I can't be arsed route, then you force yourself into making those decisions and making those choices and see which side you land on. I mean, if you do decide to go home and decide to watch TV, then there might be another choice to make. Is like, do I eat something that's going to be of nutritional value, or am I going to go down to the takeaway and get something from there? So if you've already made the choice to go home, if you're going to make that choice to go home, you've got another choice to make. What are you going to eat? What are you going to put inside yourself? What food are you going to have? Are you going to have to make a sensible decision, or are you going to have a bad decision? If the whole thing runs out of control and goes like this, oh, I can't be arsed, I'm going to go home, I'm here now, oh, I can't be arsed, I'm going to get, I don't know, I'm going to call a takeaway or just throw something in the microwave. That's two decisions that you've not made from that very simple phrase. On the flip side to that is, I'm going to choose to go home, but when I go home, I'm going to choose to eat properly and have some nutritional value, something of nutritional value. And the flip side to that is, no, I'm going to choose to not go home because there's nothing there that interests me. The TV is rubbish, all that sort of stuff. All I'm going to do is sit on my ass. Home is not going to go anywhere. TV will not go anywhere, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to choose to go and work on my program. I'm going to work on my progression, and then after that, I'm going to make a better decision, and then I'm going to choose to eat something of nutritional value. You've made them decisions, own those decisions, and go with it. And that's pretty much it. And it is really sort of like, down to hijacking your thought process, and get comfortable doing that, really. And all these things that we say, that's put ourselves on the fence, and we're all guilty of it. All they ultimately do is just stop us feeling bad for the time being, knowing at some point we're going to have to repay this. And that's kind of it, really. So there we go. So a couple of things there. So winter, it is what it is. If you're worried about getting cold, buy a jumper. Your home probably isn't going to go anywhere, so it's always going to be there. The weather's crap. Get used to it. It is what it is. Or give yourself, or really find it what it is that in your training program that you want to work on it, break it down into 4 to 6 weeks blocked, work on it, have a little review, work on it again. Try something new entirely, go and meet new people, try a different sport, try a different activity. But the biggest one that I really, really recommend is really hijack them thought processes. Get rid of the can't be arsed mentality or the try mentality. Try is simple. Don't try. Do or you don't. Don't try and do something. Do it. Okay? Make a decision. Live by that choice. That is it. Same with the can't be arsed. Rationalize those choices. Okay? I can't be arsed doing blah blah blah. Why can't you? And be honest with yourself and verbally say it. You sit in your car and say these things, and that's kind of it. And just see what side of the fence you fall on. And then ultimately, you've got no one else to blame then, other than yourself. Take responsibility for your actions, and that's it. And last one, and give yourself the best opportunity to do stuff. Okay. So, for example, pack your bag the night before, for your gym bag the night before. Put it by the front door with your key. So you have to take it with you. If you have to take it with you, it's already in your car. If you've got it, or bus or train or whatever, it's with you then. So you've already got half the way there. The other choice is making that decision then to go and do your activity. Go and work towards your goal. That's your choice. And that's pretty much it. The winter's a long one here, so it is what it is. Hijack those thought processes. Take responsibility for your actions and go with it. And there we go. So anyway, listen, I hope that's helped. If you liked it, give it a like, share it, if you've got any questions, if you've got any further questions, shove them in the comments below, or email them in to me with the subject line Ask Dan. And then I'll get around to it. Genuinely, I hope that helped. The hijacking your thought processes, it's something that's really helped me in the past, and a lot of other people that I've kind of told them to do that along the way. It's definitely worth sticking with. So I genuinely hope it helps. Cool. Right. See you next week.